Alright, in this video I'm going to go over some problems that involve the triangle sum theorem, which tells us that the angles in a triangle have to add up, the measures of the angles have to add up to 180 degrees. This video I'm just going to do a couple that have numbers. We're actually given the numerical values of the degrees of the angles. In the next video I'll do some where we're given algebraic expressions instead of actual numerical values. Alright, so this one, we know that these three things have to add up to 180 degrees. Now, there's different ways you can do this, but I think the easiest thing is that, well, this one here is going to be whatever's missing from 180 once I add up these two. So 85 and 50, I add those up and I get 135. And then I ask myself, well, what's got to be left over? So I subtract that 135 from 180 and I get 45, I think. Probably. So this angle's got to be 45 degrees. There's other ways you can set it up. If you really wanted to set it up as an algebra equation, you could think of this, the missing angle, as your x, and you could say 85 plus 50 plus x equals 180, and then you get 135 plus x equals 180. Subtract 135 from both sides, and you're going to get 45 again. Either way. That's the basic idea. Alright, that's our basic case. Now, a little bit, same idea, slightly more complicated. We're given that this is 40 degrees. We're not given the measure here, but we're told that it's a right angle. If it's a right angle, then it's going to be 90 degrees. So, we'll do the same thing, 40 and 90. Give me the sum of these two. That's 130. And then 180 minus 130 is 50. So this angle here has to be 50 degrees. Alright, now these can get trickier very quickly. I'm going to go to one that's especially hard, just to give us the whole range of the problem. So now here, we're given a couple of measures, and we're trying to find this one down in the corner. I think the easiest way to do these problems is to just work your way around, finding anything that you can find. And we can use a couple of things. One, we can use the triangle sum theorem we just talked about. The three angles have to add up to 180 degrees. We can also use, in some cases we'll be able to use vertical angles. We know that vertical angles are congruent. And we can also use that any angles that lie together on a line are going to make it supplementary angles, right? So two angles together that are all on one line like this are going to make 180 degrees. So, start with this. I know that 60 and 65, the first thing I see, right, is that I've got two angles in a triangle. If I have two angles, I can always find the third. 65 plus 60 is 125. 180 minus 125 is 55. Sounds right. 55. Okay. 55 degrees, we got 50 degrees. Now, I know that this whole thing has to be 180. Right? Because it's like half of my circle, 180. So I've got 55 and I've got 50, which gives me 105. So how much am I missing? Well, 180 minus 105 is 75 degrees. So this angle has to be 75 degrees. Well, now look, I've got two angles in a triangle, and the third one is the one that I'm trying to find. So I've got 75 and 35. I'm just going to add those up again. 110. And then 180 minus 110 is going to be 70. And that's my answer. You just kind of have to work your way around on some of those problems. You're not necessarily going to see exactly how to get from what you have to your answer. But if you start playing with it and you start looking for what you can find, given the information that you have, eventually it should work out that you get all the way to the end. Okay. Next video I'll talk about problems that have algebraic expressions.